Well, now switching over to you and your staff's selection for the Wilkinson Chevrolet and Coach Blank's player of the game, we're going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum to a senior, a guy that we've talked about a few times over the past couple of seasons here on the program, but not necessarily gets a ton of spotlight, so to speak, because he doesn't have necessarily a flashy position. That's going to be senior long snapper Liam O'Rourke. You know, he's kind of one of those guys that you don't think a lot about unless something kind of goes wrong. And fortunately, Liam is such a solid player.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot goes wrong when he's out on the field.
I don't want to jinx him, but he hadn't had a bad snap
Oh, no.
or a field goal this year. So, I mean, he just, you know, he works at his craft, and that's what he does. He loves to do it. And when you got a kid who loves to do what he does, you know what I'm saying, it makes it a whole lot easier job to coach. And he does his job. We ask him to go out there when we got to punt and make the snap, and when we got to do field goals and make the snap, and that's all he has to worry about. And that's what he worries about, making that snap. And he does a real good job at doing it. So for us, you know, like I said, he gets overlooked in the overall scheme of things. But Friday night he had to punt a couple times where he had just some great snaps and allow for us to get the ball off and put them in some bad field position. So for us, you know, Lim is real important to what we try to do.
And to that point, you know, that fourth quarter, that game doesn't turn out successful if those punts don't go well. I believe there was three in the fourth quarter alone that each time we pinned them further and further back into their own territory. And a great punt starts with a great snap.
Yeah, I mean, Luke does a good job punting the ball, but he has a lot of time to punt the ball because Lim gets the ball back there pretty fast and pretty accurate, and it just makes his job a whole lot easier and makes for guys covering. They can't return it because, you know, we get a good punt off, and then he's down the field, you know, get ready to make a tackle. So, you know, for us, he's one of our most important players, and like I said, he just does a great job at his craft.
So congratulations to senior long snapper Liam O'Rourke, your Wilkinson Chevrolet and Coach Blank's player of the game. Now,
Liam O'Rourke, we always talk about him, how important he is at long snapping.
But yeah, we got Liam. He's a great long snapper. He works at that real hard. So we're solid in that aspect.
That's great. That's great.